Hey there, REM PCs. Welcome to Rules of Cool, where we interview very special guests, creators, gamers, designers, and world builders. I'm your host, Rem, and today we're going to chat with Brian C.P. Steele, who is not only a Shadowrun freelance author, but has written for the new Power Rangers role-playing game and the upcoming Transformers role-playing game for Renegade Game Studios, among many, many, many other credits. This week's giveaway is going to be a copy of both of Brian's Shadowrun fiction novels, Tourist Trapped and Control Issues. So you can enter for free by typing hashtag REMPC in the chat right now for your free entry to win. And you can get bonus entries by going to www.remalternis.com/nuyen and patreon.com/remalternis. Your support helps us pay our cast and crew, so we greatly appreciate it. We do have some news in the Rem Alternis world. First, the Gelatinous Cube Soap Kickstarter has 6 days left, and we just unlocked a new stretch goal. So not only do you get to choose from the green gelatinous cube, green slime, the classic blue, and the black pudding, but now there is also a brand new bloody red one that is cinnamon and sandalwood scented. So it's really nice. You can head over to remalternis.com/soap to get in on the last few days of this Kickstarter. So let's unlock more of those stretch goals. Second, Shadowrun Edge Zone, the upgradable card game, just launched last week, or this past Tuesday on Kickstarter. Man, this week has gone by a little bit fast for me. So yeah, we are already at $62,000 funded. We have reached 2 stretch goals and we're making our way to the third. So you can catch that over at, okay, I can do this. This one is a hard one. It's www.kickstarter.com/projects/CGL/Shadowrun-Edge-Zone. And that link will be in the chat as well for you to click over. So check out our YouTube channel to watch an actual play of the game and check out the Kickstarter and show your support. Now, let's get right into our conversation for this week. So stay tuned, REM PCs. Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to my guest today, Brian C.P. Steele. Hi, Brian.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It has been an adventurous day.
Yay! I'm very excited to talk with you and get to know you more. I only got about 5 minutes to chat with you after Actoroki at Gen Con, and I was like, let's be friends and get you on my show. So we did it. I keep my promises. In the meantime, though, I want to hear a little bit about you today and get to know you a little bit better. So why don't we start with my favorite question, which is, okay, what is your history as a gamer?
Well, it all started a long time ago. No, okay, I'm not going to be crazy like that. My cousin Toby on my dad's side, I was 7 years old, and he sat me down at a D&D table and said, "You're a dwarf. You have an axe, and you hate goblins. And go." And I just thought it was an interesting concept. These funny shaped dice. I'm the smallest of kids. I definitely had no idea what I was doing. But I realized that it was imagination. It was playing make believe. It was playing with my toys, but with rules.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it. Fast forward a couple of years until I started to actually kind of understand that this is there are books involved, and there's more to it than that. And by the time I was about 10 years old, I was playing, I think, D&D with some of my friends, and I had maybe ventured into my first Rifts game. I think Rifts was one of those very first games that I sank my teeth into. Um, and then it just kind of, it's always been, my imagination has always been a problem for me, for my schooling, for getting trouble at, in places where I'm supposed to be quiet. And it was a solid outlet for my imagination. And by the time I reached like middle school, early high school, I realized that it was gonna be a big part of my life, much to the detriment of some of my teachers, and definitely my mother on more than one occasion had said, if you paid attention to your schoolwork more than if you studied, your math more than those D&D books, uh, which it actually leads to a much, fast forward 20 some odd years after, I think I had been in the industry for about 10 years professionally. My mom at like a Christmas or something said, I got to apologize. I told you I was going to throw away all those books if you didn't get your stuff together. You did. I'm glad I didn't throw that stuff away. It's just one of those moments where it's like, well, thank you, validation from my parental figures.
Awesome. Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I think that's really cool. If she wants you to do better in math and stuff like that, well, maybe they should write better stories and word problems around the math to say, like, if you have 20 goblins running at you through a giant open field, and meanwhile you've got the orcs coming from the other side over a mountain that's going to slow them down, at what point will they
I
converge?
later in life I realized just how much, like, so I won't lie, I was never a great student, not necessarily because of like lack of understanding or anything, but it was definitely, I just didn't care what they were throwing at me more often than not.
Yeah.
um and but I did particularly well in certain areas, and one of those was always statistics. Probability and statistics has always been something that I did grok that. And it definitely shines now in my design work, because there's something to be said for just kind of being able to eyeball most bell curves and stuff. And it's not something that I would have ever thought about learning, like going to a class to learn. It's all just comes from the learning of how to roll dice over and over and over and over and over again. Literally decades of rolling the same dice and seeing those results.
Yeah. Cool. Well, since D&D and riffs and yada yada yada, which we're all going to get into, you are fairly new to writing for Shadowrun. So how did you get involved in that?
So I will here. I'm gonna admit a dark secret. I actually used to really dislike Shadowrun when I was like in early high school. I was a hardcore cyberpunk fan, and it was why are you trying to mix your orcs with my cyber? Like get your magic out of my peanut butter. It didn't mesh with me. And one day, one of my best friends, he was the best man at my second wedding, sat me down and said, "I'm running a Shadowrun game. I want you to try and play." And I was like, "Oh," rolls my eyes. Okay, fine. And we sat down and we made a elven. Actually, one of the novels, you get to meet him. An elven kind of Lothario gunslinger, and I was sold. I was like, okay, never mind. Being an elf is cool. I can get behind dragons and elves and things. And I dove in head first. Read a bunch of the old novels, got into playing the old game, and it just sort of kind of came together. And at one of the shows, I want to say it was one of the Origin shows, I ran into Jason Hardy, and we've known each other tangentially through just the industry. And he was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing some work with us?" And I said, I hadn't really, I hadn't really crossed that off, and said no, but I'm sure. And they needed some fiction done at the time, and that was we did what was it? I did Rude, the novella chunk for the Frame Job, that had just the stereotypical Street Sam troll. and I loved getting into that world and getting to flex. And
Did you create Rude, or is
so
it exist?
when I was handed the job, when he was said, okay, you need to do this novella based off a Street Sam troll named Rude,
Okay.
and he is heavily cybered up, heavily bioed up, and that's it. That was basically, here's the parameters. Here's a couple of story beats that you have to hit to match up with the rest of, because all of those novellas for the frame job all kind of come together to one piece,
Mhm.
and they overlap each other a little bit on some of the story beats. So there was definitely some things that, like, I had things that I had to put in there, but everything else was more or less mine to roll with.
The reason I ask is because Rude is a card in the new Edge Zone upgradable card game live on
That's
Kickstarter.
awesome. That is awesome. I so little known fact. There's actually a handful of cards in the other Shadowrun card game. It's
Crossfire?
thank you, Crossfire. There's a handful of the characters from Crossfire that came from a board game that Catalyst purchased from me that has not ever been produced. Basically, they got all the assets from me, and the board game just never quite gelled. But there's a whole bunch of Shadowrun character templates that got art and things like that from that purchase. Some of those guys ended up in Crossfire. So I'm assuming I'm going to see some more of those characters resurface in Edge Zone. So I'm
That's
excited.
neat. That's
A couple of those characters came from my own table, my own, teams and stuff that I've played with. And if anybody has ever seen the Minotaur Toro, that was a character that I played for years. And he surfaced in actually, I think in Rude's novella, he shows up for a little bit.
cool.
So that's if there's one really cool thing about writing for Shadowrun, because there is so much out there and so many moving parts that you could have a little bit of everything. Not everything has to survive or be around the same 10 people.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things, like, another company I used to work for. I did a lot of stuff for War Machine, and War Machine is very much, the Iron Kingdoms is very much based around a set number of personalities, and so those personalities are in everything.
Yeah.
This is the opposite. Like, you can introduce new and awesome characters from all over the place, and it just makes sense. Shadowrun, they pop up all over, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And then not only have you done the novella and the two novels,
Hmm?
but you've also done a little bit of the rule books recently, correct?
I did a bunch of stuff for the 30 Nights adventure arc, that narrative book.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'd have to look it up. I think I touched a little bit on one of the other adventures. I had like maybe some rule splat in that. And I know that Jason and I have talked about some upcoming stuff that hopefully I will begin to put some pen to paper on. But primarily for Shadowrun, it's mostly fiction is what they kind of tap me for on that.
30 Nights was when it went dark, right?
Yes.
So, fun fact, I think this is the first time I've said it on this show too, but you remember on the Shadowrun website, the Doomsday video that launched?
Yes. Oh, no way! Really?
That was us, yeah.
Oh, see, that was super cool. So not only is that video cool, but with 30 Nights, I don't. It's not really a spoiler because I think it's written on the back of the book. The Tourist Trapped was a companion novel to 30 Nights.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Basically, the reason why I wrote Tourist Trapped was because I had written part of 30 Nights. We could do a tie-in to some of the events that happened in that. You get to see it from a narrative standpoint of what happens when this kind of stuff takes place.
That's super cool. Yeah, I might have known that by now, but at Gen Con when we met, I went to the Catalyst booth, and I didn't want to carry everything around, right? So I was like, I'm going to come back and get all the stuff from Shadowrun that I want to get. And when I came back, your books, I had just met you that morning, and later that weekend they were gone. So I was like, I'm gonna have to get your book still.
I was very pleasantly I won't say saying pleasantly surprised makes me sound like God, my work never sells. But I was, it was nice to see so few copies when I did swing by. And what's funny is that John actually had me, he was like, there's only a couple left. You want to sign these real quick? So there's some people at Gen Con that randomly got signed copies because I just happened to like, so when they, I'm hoping that they didn't think that they got like a used copy and they realized, because my signature's illegible. Yeah, like,
oh no.
Yeah, like it is a scribble, and then I always date it at the bottom. So it was a scribble that's 22 next to it. So we'll hope if you're watching and
check your book,
check the inside cover of your book and see if there's a scribble 22. That means I signed your book before you ever had it.
So. That's so cool. All right, so as much as I love talking about Shadowrun, what I want to know what it was like working on the Power Rangers RPG for Renegade Games.
So this was easily one of the most interesting lineups. So when I got a phone call out of the blue. I've been freelance for a while. I haven't worked for anybody as a staffer in quite a bit. And I got a phone call out of the blue from Elise, and she's like, "Hey, I know, because we didn't know each other real well at the time. We're good friends now, but like it was just kind of tangentially work friends." And she's like, "I've got a thing coming up that I think that you'd be perfect for." And I said, "Awesome. Let's get the NDAs and everything signed so I can hear more about it." And the conversation started with, "Well, so there's going to be a Transformers role-playing game." And I was like, "Okay, yes. What's next? Like where do I sign? I have negotiations out the window.
Done.
Pay me nothing. I'm in." And she's like, "Well, there's more. It's also going to be G.I. Joe and Power Rangers." And I was like, this job just keeps getting sweeter. Like where at some point you're going to say, "Oh, and by the way, we get to do Star Wars in the back lot." It just kept on getting better. And we got everything signed, got everything squared away, that we were doing this initially it was going to be a 5e game. That was the initial plan. And we had our first meeting with the team, and we got everything together. And at that first meeting, there was 11 of us on the team, and we got divvied up into smaller sub teams while we were all making the same system to be compatible with each other. We had focus groups.
Okay.
And she starts talking about who's going to be in which group. And suddenly it's me and TJ Storm and Elisa herself in the Power Rangers group. And at first I was like, I thought I was going to be a Transformer. I swore that was going to be where I was going to be at. And not that was a problem by any stretch. It wasn't like, oh man, I get to do with another cool license, but it was something that it was a question that came up. And so after kind of off the meeting afterwards, I was like, so I don't mean to sound, ungrateful, but why am I not on the Transformers team? And apparently Hasbro had a particular lineup that we had to get releases out in a certain order with, like, this license needed to be before this one. There were some Hasbro rulings.
Sure.
And Power Rangers was the first one that had to be out. And Elisa really, really wanted me to be on the core team to help get this initial design off the ground. So I told her, I was like, I'm familiar with Power Rangers. I am not, I'm way more like in league with the Transformer stuff. I can go on for hours and hours. When it comes to Power Rangers, I'm going to need to do some research. And it was, well, you've got about 3 months to really kind of get going on what we're doing. And there's going to be lots of planning meetings and lots of, discussion sessions. And in those 3 months, I watched like 500 hours of Power Rangers. just, or 500 episodes just back to back to back. You know, I was working on other things, and my secondary screen was just a constant flow of rubber suit monsters and, you know, teenagers with attitude. I found myself not just watching it for the understanding and note taking, but actually kind of getting into it as it progressed into some of the later seasons. I started buying comics,
Oh,
and I, by the time we started actually working on the book, I was a Power Ranger fan. I actually was
oh,
like, this is something I'm super happy to be a part of. And now, you know, fast forward 2 years, I have like 2 comic book subscriptions. I'm a member of at least one fan group that I knew about the new series before they announced it, because the fan group found out first. Oh yeah, no, I jumped in with both feet, and we started the project as a 5e project, and then very shortly into the process, Hasbro actually said, "Hey, we don't want to use 5e for this. We would like you to come up with your own system." And so that was our, we everybody kind of put the brakes on what you were doing, and okay, time to invent a system. And so
yeah.
Elisa, myself, Ryan, Ben, Paige, James, and Eddie, and everybody, we had several Zoom meetings, you know, height of COVID, where we came up with the Essence 20 system,
That's
where we
awesome.
designed that, and then the goal from the very beginning was creating a role playing game system that was setting agnostic, that just worked with any kind of fun cinematic toy box style system,
Hmm.
and then you could put a coat of paint on it to change it for the different systems, so long as the different settings, so long as the settings function with each other.
Okay.
And that's what we've got. Power Rangers has been out for 6 or 8 months, I think. GI Joe's been out for about 4, and Transformers, I believe, is like shipping to people in the next couple of weeks. So like
That's really cool.
it's going to be out. And My Little Pony is in the spring, I think.
My Little Pony. I'm sorry. Stop everything. What?
Yeah, MLP is our 4th Essence 20 family member. There's the Essence 20 My Little Pony game coming out, I think, in the spring.
So
I know the book is written, so
this is to my own community. We need to get something together for My Little Pony. So we, we're
so
we're recording a Power Rangers podcast right now.
oh, awesome.
The GM is a super fan. John,
Excellent.
shout out for you. I'm asking these questions for you. Uh, John is obsessed, loves Power Rangers, and is so excited to not only do the podcast but wants to do a live stream on our channel as well. But big fan.
Well, the first big narrative adventure book. So basically, it's roughly 4, like 4 splat adventures. You know, and each adventure probably would take 2 or 3 sessions. So I mean, like it's basically a narrative arc that's designed to take 1st or 2nd level characters up to 5th or 6th level.
Yeah. Okay.
That is shipping now. It's called Adventures in Angel Grove. Myself and TJ Storm wrote that one,
That's cool.
and it's the first big Essence 20 adventure book. There's the little splat adventures that came in the GM screens, but
Okay.
this is the first
And
big non-core book. It's a big hardcover book.
and it's for Power Rangers?
Hmm?
Awesome. Okay. Well, I know there's at least one purchase coming that your way for that. So that's really exciting. Is there anything else? I jumped from My Little Pony back to Power Rangers, and
Oh, no problem.
what is there anything else coming from Renegade? What are you doing with them next?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm trying to think what we've announced and what the marketing ninjas will let me talk about. We've announced, so the Adventures in Angel Grove is coming. Across the Stars is the first source book. It deals with kind of the space travel and exploration for Power Rangers. Comes with
Cool.
a couple of new roles, couple of new influences and origins, bunch of new perks. That's going to be, hopefully, I would assume it should be out by the end of the year. I would hope.
Cool. Okay.
We've announced Jump Through Time, which is the time travel book. For GI Joe, Operation Cold Iron is going to be out. That's their big first adventure book. We've talked about how there's going to be a Cobra book that
Oh,
gives you a bunch of cool assets to build Cobra stuff and also possibly play as Cobra characters if you want. And then I did the Decepticon book for Transformers, which is the same idea but with Decepticons.
awesome.
There is an adventure book coming for Transformers, but we haven't announced what it is yet, so I can't say the title until marketing says that I can.
Okay. Fair. It's
But I
enough
know
to
that
know
it's done. I've seen a bunch of the art and stuff in the layout. It looks great.
good.
And then I'm currently working on a Power Ranger source book that has yet to be released or yet to be announced, but it's gonna be one that I think there might actually be some Essence 20 fans that aren't Power Rangers people that might buy it because it's going to be a useful tool for a lot of
Oh,
reasons.
cool. Awesome. Oh, that's exciting. Um, wow. So lots happening with Renegade. Congratulations on that. That's
Thank
super
you.
cool. Yeah, as I talked to you after Oki, I'm like, hey, yeah, good job. What do you do? Oh, you've written for Shadowrun. I love Shadowrun. I'm sorry, what Power Rangers? So that's really awesome that you got a chance to work on that. Now, previously, you've also done quite a lot of work for Mongoose Publishing. What did you work on for that?
Oh my gosh. So Mongoose was probably up until recently was the lion's share of where most of my work came in because when I was at Mongoose, we had a very I'm not going to say strict schedule because that makes it seem like Alex and Matt were mean, and they weren't. They were prolific. It was a very prolific schedule. We put out splat books. There was 4 or 5 of us staff writers at Mongoose, and we put out a splat book a month, roughly.
Oh wow.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But most of my stuff over there was Babylon 5 role playing game. I did a lot of stuff for Conan, Traveler, RuneQuest. Did a little bit of their miniature game stuff like Call to Arms, which is Babylon adjacent.
Mm.
Got to play a little bit with the Starship Troopers license before that fell apart. But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. Mongoose was my first steady gig. I started out with Privateer Press, and while I was there, I was still kind of part-timing it at the cell phone store. You know, I still had other gigs going on. When Mongoose offered me the full-time gig, that was when I was like, okay, I'm leaving retail and mall jobs behind. I am now a game designer. I am a writer, and never looked back.
Awesome.
That's been what I've been doing ever since.
That's great.
Through many a hardship and a few lean years, but yeah.
I mean, that's the game dev life, but to have so many big titles and recognizable titles that you've gotten to work on is really cool and a pretty successful, in my opinion, my humble opinion, career. So it's really neat starting to research you and look you up and seeing what you've been part of is super cool.
I have been I've said it from the very beginning is my game industry origin story. I was absolutely lucky to be in the right room at the right time. Hopefully since then it's been skill and work ethic and preservation yeah, of keeping me going.
Yeah.
But I do know that if it wasn't for Matt Wilson and Brian Snowdy, I would not have gotten the opportunities that I did initially. Them taking a chance on me for War Machine Prime back in 2002 was I will always be grateful to those two guys and a bunch of Bud Lights at the Alliance Open House in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, I agree. Right place in the right time. I never would have gotten to Origins, or even gotten into Shadowrun if my home group, my home D&D group, they brought in one of the Shadowrun writers, just from being friends, and we finished our D&D campaign. And kind of similar to you, after that, this writer goes, hey, I'd like to run this cyberpunk fantasy game for you. And I'm like, that sounds stupid. And here I am I've told the story how I am a hypocrite and also wrong constantly, and so I'll say like I don't like this, and then like 5 years later I'm like obsessed with
Absolutely. We are gamers are a fickle breed.
yeah. At least we can change our minds. We're not stubborn.
Absolutely. I think the best of us can.
Yeah. Now you have also, in addition, because clearly everything we have talked about is not enough. So besides writing rules and for these IPs and fiction, you also branched into miniature sculpting and painting.
Mhm.
What and how? Just what happened there?
So I have been painting miniatures since my stepbrother Michael put a paintbrush in my hand when I was about 11 years old. He was heading off to getting ready to go off to the Navy, and he had a bunch of old Raoul Partha models that he actually was a really good painter. And I always used to ooh and ah over his minis. And before he left, he was like, "I'm gonna have all my paints and my brushes and my models. Have at, kid." And I got into just the idea of it, and it went up from there, from just kind of slapping paint on role-playing minis to getting my first game of Rogue Trader 40K in, and then Necromunda, and then painting BattleTech minis, and then it just sort of went to to the point where I bought an old poker table to serve as my paint desk in my mom's basement. Just that I made my own little painting station, and it's always been the way. I mentioned earlier that I have a detrimentally powerful imagination, um, and that I mean that in the sense that I don't sleep real well. If I have dreams, my dreams are ridiculous and sometimes kind of shaking. Not necessarily nightmares, but like the kind of thing where you wake up and go, "Yeah, I'm not going back to that weirdness." And so I started to paint a lot when I couldn't sleep, and just over through high school and stuff. I guess I got good at it, goodish, at it, good enough that several of my friends started basically asking me to paint some of their stuff. And fast forward a handful of years, during the one of those lean times when work was not happening, my first wife actually said, this was before she was my wife. She actually said, she goes, you should maybe offer to sell your paint jobs, try and paint for other people. And I was like, who would want to do that? That's silly, And so at the local game shop, I put up a little flyer that was like, need minis painted. And so I started just kind of doing for higher commissions. And I always had been from well before then, I had done a lot of conversion work with like green stuff putty and epoxy sculpts, like
Yeah.
giving people new weapons and fixing, oh, this guy needs a new cloak. And so I had effectively sculpted a bunch of stuff piecemeal, but never really a full model.
Right.
And during a downtime between gigs, I was at, God, probably I think Origins may have been where I picked this guy up. I talked to a gentleman by the name of Brian Borgman, who are still friends to this day. In fact, I'm working with him on something. But he had a game called Kaiju Chaos, which was about giant monsters fighting each other, and he needed some sculpts done. And so I did like a werewolf and a couple of capybara and like this worm thing, relatively simple things, but he bought sculpts from me.
Oh,
And
cool.
it was the first time I'd ever seen anything that I had sculpted recasted in metal. It was super neat. I think I've probably sold maybe 20 or 30 professional sculpts altogether. So it was never like a career factor. Painting wise, I still take commissions. It's pretty regular. Right now, I'm looking. If you're wondering why I'm looking away from you, or I guess maybe I'm looking at you based off of where the picture is. I'm looking over at the hobby side of the studio, and I'm actually between commissions right now. I finished up a pretty big one recently, and my desk is now empty except for things for me.
That's
which
cool.
never happens. But yeah, so I take the occasional commission. I haven't sculpted anything in a while. The move, kind of the professional move for a lot of people to move to digital sculpting, um, took a great deal of wind out of my sails when it came to that, because I am not a digital sculptor.
Hmm.
I can mess with digital files. I'm getting better at it. I have a 3D printer and I play around with my 3D printer. But I've always been a traditional kind of wire and putty sculptor, and the industry has moved dramatically away from that.
Right.
So now I think I've sculpted a couple of personal figures for somebody. Like, somebody had me do his D&D character, which was very specific.
Mm.
But like services like Hero Forge now that have bazillions of options, it's just not really there for me
Right.
anymore. But the painting I still do quite a bit.
Cool. Oh, that's awesome. Now, you also own your own freelancing company, correct?
Mhm.
Tell, tell us about that.
Ursa's Den Freelance Writing and Design is the technical business title on my license. It honestly, it started out as my first wife was very, she was a banker. She was very, she knew the business side of things way better than I did. And at some point when I started making enough money for it not to be considered a hobby in the US, where you actually can start writing things off as business expenses, and like you are an actual profitable business.
Right.
My accountant and my ex-wife, she's like, well, we need to get you, we've got to get you a business number. We have to actually get you set up as a business, and that's how Ursa's Den was born. Was more or less just to kind of keep track of my taxes. Um, and then as I got deeper and deeper into the industry, I learned that a lot of companies do not hire people directly. They almost everybody's under a 1040. It's almost always an independent contractor situation, which it made it 1,000 times easier for me to just keep my business going.
Yeah.
And so now I've got, clientele contracts and things. I've hired artists and stuff through my license to
Hmm.
do things. I've got a couple of things on the DMs Guild for D&D.
Cool.
Just little things here and there, but it has been a huge help to be my own business.
Yeah.
And paying taxes as an independent contractor sucks. So anything that you can do to try and alleviate some of that sting at the end of the year,
Yeah.
I highly suggest it.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. So also, I can't even say it that many times. Also to the eighth power, I think is where we are now.
I've tried a little bit of everything. If it's possible in this industry, I wanted to make myself as hireable as possible. It is, when I was doing the retail jobs after college, and I did not get along. I gave it the old college try, and then they asked me to not do that anymore. During that period, between then and when I was working full time, I had something like 17 jobs of like 3 months or less. I did I did donut baking. I tried to intern with an electrician. My shortest lived gig was literally half of one shift before I quit a job. I tried everything, and then
Wow.
I ended up being a phone jockey at a State Farm Cube Center, and then selling cell phones. And that kind of try everything till it sticks
Mm.
went with me into the game industry. Is if there was anything that anybody needed to do, I was like, if I can try, I'll try. If there's a paycheck involved, or if it leads me closer to a better relationship with an employer, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
And that's why so much of my, where you're like, and he's done this and he's tried this. Would I call myself a marketing person? No. Did I run a magazine for 2 years? Yes.
Yeah.
Not what I would do if someone asked me right now. You know,
It's really what I love about the gaming industry, though, is that you have more of that opportunity because it's still like as saturated as like crowdfunding is right now and stuff like
mm,
that. Like it's still a very small community, and so people are always looking for all of these different skill types. And if there's someone that just is interested in it, it doesn't even matter if you've done
yep,
it before or not. So that's that's come up with me and my company too, where it's been, hey, can you do this? Yeah, yeah, sure. I'll look it up when I get home, but yeah, sure, we can
yeah,
do that. So yeah, taking the time to learn, and I kind of consider myself a professional student in that way,
mm,
um, where you learn a new skill. If it's something that is interesting enough to you, do it.
yep.
um, and that's really cool that this industry allows for that, and allows for a lot of change.
Well, and I think that there are so many people that, because a lot of the industry for a long time was driven so hard by convention life,
Mm,
that a lot of people only know each other through their convention industry connections.
yeah.
And the number of people that, like, I'll talk to somebody and they'll be like, "Oh, I was hanging out with Todd," and it's like, "Oh, Todd who? Todd this guy? Oh my God, yeah, I worked with him 10 years ago." It's not to say that the industry is completely incestuous. There is new blood coming all the time,
Mhm.
um, but there is I don't want to use the word hierarchy because that's not right. There's a network that is there, that it will always be there.
Yeah.
Once you start, and I also think there's a lot to be said for. uh, God, I'm trying not to sound egotistical in any way. There's something to be said for being a good person to work with, to kind of bend when the bosses say you need to bend. If the contracts, I've given panels and things about, you always get that question of, what's your advice for someone just getting into the industry? And my number one piece of advice is, remember that this work is not yours.
Mhm.
Is you are working for someone else. If
Mhm.
you're creating your own game, that's fine. Like if you're publishing your own stuff and you're your own boss, that's awesome. But for the most part, the most success. Let's try that again in English. The most successful, like, freelancers and people who are constantly being rehired are the people who understand that I'm working for someone else. They need to be happy with this final product. They need to be happier than I am.
Mhm.
And if the boss says, if hey, I need it to be this way, if you might have some wiggle room, you might have some negotiation room with it, but if they say at the end of the day, I want it this needs to
Mhm.
happen, then you make it happen. That's what they're paying you for.
Yeah.
And leaving behind some of that hubris, I think is key to
Mhm.
success in this industry, and people will tell other people about that. You know, I,
I
I've had numbers of coworkers that people will call me up and go, "Hey, you worked with X. What'd you think of them?"
Yeah.
And that's huge, I think. And then this industry really, you don't burning bridges is it's always a bad thing, but in this
Yeah.
industry it really, really is
It is a small
super detrimental.
community, and people talk.
Yeah.
Um, Gosh, I could go on with this train of thought with you for ages. I really enjoy talking to you. You're very easy to talk to. But with the time we have left, I
Yeah.
want to hear about your also to the eighth power, a content creator, streamer, podcaster as well. So
Yes.
tell us what you've been working on and where we can find your content.
So I do a little TikTok stuff. I dabble in the TikTok. And at the TikTok is, I am at the professional nerd, which is a reference to my YouTube show. My YouTube show every Friday at noon. I put out. It's normally about an hour long. Random topic of the week. Sometimes it is something specific that I've been geared up to. Sometimes it's a product unboxing. Some of my shows have been about how to double check your contract when you're hiring yourself out. Make sure that you don't screw yourself on getting compensated, or what I learned when my first Kickstarter failed, like little things like that. It basically, it's called forgetting the name of the show is Tales from a Professional Nerd. And I started it little over 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. It's been a hot minute. I'm up to I filmed episode 160 this morning.
Ooh, congrats.
And it's gonna be a lot of fun. You should tune in and see me cry tomorrow, because there's crying on this one.
Yeah, you were telling me about this before. So Tales from a Professional Nerd on YouTube.
Yep.
And tell me about your recording from this morning.
I was waiting for an unboxing for this week, and it did not arrive in time for me to film it. So I needed to figure out something that I needed to do that would be entertaining. That's a little one-stop shop, just a little one-shot thing. And so I went out to one of the stores where I knew they had them, and I bought the Packy One Chip Challenge, the insanely hot spicy chip challenge. And I asked on all my socials for people to give me questions about Essence 20 that I could hopefully answer during while I was suffering on the eating of the chip. And I will not spoil it, but that thing does what it says on the tin. It is nightmare fuel. And I normally drink a lot of Diet Coke and I drink a lot of iced tea. I actually have chocolate milk, and I've been drinking chocolate milk all day. Because my stomach is still not happy with me from that stupid chip.
I love when you were telling me about it before we came live. You were all sassy about like, yeah, I've seen those shows, and I thought they were kind of like, they're just dramaing it up. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
you're
not
just
that
hamming
bad.
it up for the views. You're hamming it up for the likes. No, that is. I've eaten spicier things that have better flavor, that's for sure. But this was a punch to the gut. And you get to see that if you tune in tomorrow and laugh at me.
Yeah,
and put your comments in the put your comments in the thing. I also do a monthly comment raffle. That if you comment on my videos, I put you into a randomizer, and it spits somebody out at the end of the month, and they get a prize package from the studio that ranges from painted minis to signed books to I think I gave away a couple sets of dice, like just random stuff from the studio that I've gotten from sponsors and things, or just stuff from my own collection that's no longer sparking any joy. And rather than trying to sell it, I give it away to people who comment on my videos. So
that's awesome. That's really cool. So YouTube, we have your Twitter on the screen.
Okay.
Where else can people find and follow you?
Facebook, and Facebook is Brian C.P. Steele. I love to talk about comics and movies and games and stuff. You can get me on TikTok, the Professional Nerd, but Twitter and Facebook are probably the two big ones. Okay. Aside from just watching content.
Awesome. Well, we are at about that time to wrap up, but it was lovely and easy to talk to you, and I look forward to following you and hearing more about all the cool stuff and shenanigans you get yourself into. Thank you for being here.
When you guys start doing more of your Power Rangers stuff, hit me up. I'll see what I can muster up, if maybe a drop in or a special NPC, or throw some monster as yet unpublished monsters at your GM.
I think I hear John screaming all the way in Portland, and I'm in Montreal right now, so we will absolutely do that. Well,
that sounds fun.
Thank you so much, Brian, for being here.
This was fun. I'm glad you stuck around after Actoroki to say hi.
I love new friends. Hooray!
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, stay tuned, everyone. We will be right back for the end of the show. It's been a few weeks since Billy Berserker's production wrapped in Seattle, and life is regaining some semblance of normalcy. Or maybe it's just the calm before a new storm, as a fan turns up dead on Violet's doorstep. Who is this guy, and how did he end up there? Why is he covered in gold? And who is hunting him? Join us for the case of the Midas Talismonger in the next episode of Shadowrun 6th World, Emerald Glitch, coming up next. And don't forget that we have a wonderful a wonderful giveaway of Brian C.P. Steele's Shadowrun novels, both Tourist Trapped and Control Issues, in PDF. So thank you so much to Catalyst Game Labs for donating such a great prize. And you can enter to win for free by typing #RemPC in the chat right now. You can get additional entries to win by going to our donation page at remalternis.com/nuyen or patreon.com/remalternis. All donations help us to pay our cast and crew and keep producing content. And our biggest donors can have a message read at the end of the episode by the Shadowrunner of their choice. So check it out. Did you know we have more shows like Shadowrun Emerald Glitch on our Twitch channel? We stream 5 to 6 days a week over on twitch.tv/masterofrem, including the Dresden Files RPG, Shadowrun 5th Edition, Steampunk Fantasy D&D, and more. So check us out and give us a follow. Thank you all for joining. Next week, we will have Matt Lemon, the driving force of Shadowrun Missions Online, to talk with us about how you can play in the official Missions Legal Shadowrun games. So we'll see you next time, RunPCs. Bye.
Welcome to the 6th World, Shadowrun. Edge Zone. New visuals. Enhanced design. Choose your runner. Collect your Nuyen. Buy the latest cyberware, bioware, gear, magic options, and weaponry. Accept your mission. Fight to survive. Unleash your power. Slow down the competition. Come out on top. Edge Zone. The Shadowrun upgradable card game. Now you make the power plays.
The earth has changed. All that once was is no more. Cities remade. Power reshaped. Races reborn. Reality reimagined. Violence unleashed. The earth has changed. She no longer sleeps. She has awakened.
What a spell! Spell!
Spells.
Spell! She says spell like 92 times. Spell! 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 Spell!
Oh, well.
Ready to level up your cosplay game? Check out the Geek Forge on Etsy. With a variety of props to give your photos that extra spark, you'll find just what you need. Hold magical fire in the palm of your hand, or take a potion to restore your mana. With a large variety of colors, you can choose your own magical flavor for your cosplay. Bring drama to your photo shoots with these vibrant props and more, all available at the Geek Forge. Are you ready to level up your cosplay?
You are live.
Hey there, NPCs. Welcome to our actual play of Shadowrun 6th World, Emerald Glitch. I'm Bob, your GM, and tonight we begin the case of the Midas Talismonger. So, let's see, previously on Emerald Glitch, we've had, last time we had Stuffer Shack loss prevention, so there was some fun with Nova and the Stuffer Shack and hunting down old debts that somehow, or hunting down old debtors that apparently owed the Stuffer Shack money somehow. And before that, we had our runners were part of Billy Berserker's security detail. But tonight, we check in with Violet, who's playing a Thursday night gig at Areola 51. Is this Violet's first evening gig in a while, or has she been playing evenings as a regular deal?
I would say that she might have been opening a couple of evenings, but this is probably her first, headlining evening premiere.
And so are you trying out some new material?
Oh, absolutely.
So what do you have?
So I have my underground sensation song of Honeymoon and Fireflies that I'm playing. And then I have a couple of other song titles floating around, but I am going to need either Bob's help or the chat's help to give me a number between 1 and 6 to pick which one.
Let's leave that to chat.
Yeah. So chat, tell me between 1 and 6, what is going to be my second attempt at an underground hit? Because you never know what story the dice want to tell.
So the first number in is 5.
All right. So with number 5, Silver and Chrome, which might be a holiday song. Might be a song about a somebody who's cybered up. Hard to tell at this point.
It's a totally Shadowrun song.
That's right.
It's been countrified.
Right.
All right. So we can take another one. We go into so Tech voted a 1, or Amber voted a 3.
So number 3 would be Lonely in Neon.
Lonely in Neon?
Yeah, Lonely inside
Okay.
Neon.
All right. Definitely potentially another cyberpunk genre country crossover.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Absolutely, the famed Bro Lives Christmas hit, Silver and Chrome.
I haven't heard that name in a long time. So it's at that point you do see a familiar face in the crowd. Most of these people are sort of, they come and go. But there's an orc male whom you know goes by the name Denny. And he's a fan. You've seen him at every set you've played the last few weeks. And you heard last week from Toil that Denny's only in when you're playing. So he's following your set schedule, apparently. So far, he's done his routine. He's got a pitcher of Soyweiser ice, and usually orders the wingless wings, eaten with a knife and fork. Tonight's a little different. He still has his pitcher of Soyweiser ice that's now about half empty, but he hasn't touched his food. The wingless wings are just sitting there. The silverware still wrapped in the napkin on the table. As you finish your underground hit, Honeymoon and Fireflies, he smiles, and you see a tear roll down his face. And as you go into the next song, you notice that smile fades as he checks his comm link, which you've never seen him do during one of your sets. And as you're getting into your next song, he leaves that half full pitcher and walks out. So go ahead and make a performance check. All right. So you are happy to receive uh, all the cheers and the hoots and hollers that the normal headliners get here. So you've done a pretty good job of stepping in for whoever didn't show up tonight.
Mm.
And so with that, we'll leave Violet and her set, and we'll check in with Nova. All right. Standing by.
Sitting by.
Meanwhile, at the Stuffer Shack, you're just arriving for your shift. You're on the overnight. And you walk in, and you hear some stuff going on in back. Some things being moved about.
Okay. I'm probably half asleep and really upset. So I go back there very angry.
Okay. So you go back there very angry, and there is your nemesis, Francois or Fezzle or Fred or whatever. You can't seem to remember his name for some reason. This is the guy who just slides right off your memory.
Fido, what are you doing back here?
I'm shelving the stock. The truck came like 2 hours late. And you see he's like throwing stock up. And I mean, as much as you can do a bad job at stocking shelves, he's doing it. So he's not doing any sort of fronting of the stock. He's just throwing stuff up there.
Are you even taking into account what you're throwing up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you put up there? What's come in?
Cereal, milk, which is not in the cooler.
How much of everything? That's not where milk goes. What are you doing? Are you trying to make this my problem, even though it was something that was supposed to get done on your shift?
I'm trying.
Trying to get on my nerves? Because that's what's happening.
All right. He just sort of huffs and puffs and sort of goes to moving stuff around. He does get the soy milk in the cooler, at least. And he's doing a better job at stocking the shelves, fronting the stock, and seems to be doing it faster than you think he probably was doing it before you came back.
Jesus, Phil, if you'd just done it this way from the beginning, you'd just be done and out of my way.
And you get the sense he's trying to correct you on the name, but the name just escapes you. It's like he said it's from.
It's what? What?
And he's Oh, forget about it. And he goes to the next box and opens it.
Didn't even remember it to begin with.
So he just keeps. He's still unpacking. It looks like he's got another hour or so of work before he leaves for the night.
Oh my god. Okay, so while he's like stalking, if he has like a bag of like soy chips or something like that, I like take a bag out and start eating it right in front of him while just staring him down as if he's like my evening like entertainment.
Yeah, so you pull and he goes to like it's like pulls the scanner around like he's gonna scan it, but can't quite get to the barcode or the ARFID tag because well you're eating out of it. You got to pay for that.
Oh, yeah, I do. I do. You're right.
That's
I
what I was
probably
told.
should. You got any new yen on you?
What do I look like? Money bags?
Yeah, hand it over.
Go make an intimidation test.
Is it unskilled?
Oh, it's unskilled charisma then. Yes. So intimidation. Let me make sure I'm not getting the skill wrong. Influence. Thank you. Yes, it is. Wow, one of the many skills that got shoehorned into influence in 6th edition. So if you have that, you can roll it. Otherwise, we'll go with your 0 hits on unskilled charisma.
I have con. That's it.
Okay. He does.
He laughs at me. I punch him in the face.
Okay. Go ahead and make an unarmed strike test. You gain an edge.
My true intentions here, everybody.
Taking edge off of unsuspecting co-workers. Okay. And I need to roll. There it is. Ooh. Not nearly good enough. And there's. Okay, so you crack him across the jaw, and you hear bones pop as he sort of grabs his face and he's like bleeding. It's like, what is that?
Cool. While he's down on the ground, I fish around in his pockets for new yen.
He has 10 new yen on him.
Amazing. And then I lean over and say, "Do you still want me to pay for these?"
He's not even paying attention to you at this point. He's down on the ground. He's still like grabbing his face.
I just step over him.
Okay.
Step over him and go about my day. Hey, Francois, when you feel better, go ahead and sweep the floor while you're at it.
Okay, so after maybe 10 minutes or so, you're up front, sort of looking at you're finished your bag of soy chips. He sort of stumbles out. walks up to you behind the counter. And he reaches under and hits the panic button and goes to walk away.
Oh my god, you see, I have this thing called a stun baton, and I'm just gonna go ahead and use it on him.
Okay. He goes down like a sack of bricks.
Amazing. I tie him up.
And he's sort of twitching.
I tie him up and I wait for the cops to come. I just go ahead and lock him in the freezer.
My God.
They'll be there shortly. It's fine.
Yes, it takes a few minutes. But sure enough, a Lone Star patrol car rolls up. And a couple guys are they have guns drawn and they're running in. What's going on?
I am behind the counter reading a magazine and I wave it away and I go, yeah, I have an employee. He just started freaking out. I'm sure he took something. I don't know. I had to stun him out, but he went and hit the panic button. You guys got to take him away.
So why don't you make a contest now?
I told the truth about him hitting the panic button.
So, I mean, they're here. You're pretty sure. I mean, from prior experience working at Stuffer Shack, they're keen on taking anybody away once a panic button goes off because they have to fill out paperwork anyway. So they drag this guy off.
Thank you. You know, I pride myself on managing the store well, and I am disappointed that I've allowed him to just lose it. I should probably ask HR to reconsider making me Employee of the Month this month. And then I point at my plaque with my name listed for like 24 months in a row.
All right. So the cops leave with whatever the guy's name is in tow. And for the next couple of hours, things are pretty blissfully quiet. It's that dead of night sort of thing. So then we will go over to Curie. So what has Curie been doing? You've had, it's been probably a month since you were... Push to talk? Oh. Yeah. Send your mic down, Sarah. All right. All right. So some technical difficulties.
It's the joy of live internet.
Yep. And she's gone. Let's see if she can get back in. If not, we'll move on. Oh, there we go. Oh, we got you now.
Stupid Discord.
All right. So, as I was saying, it's been about a month since you were hired by the Billy Berserker production. You've had that book for a while.
I'm finished, actually.
Ah. To remind our audience, do you recall the title of this book?
See if I was a good girl and put it in my notes. I think I wrote it down on a piece of paper that has since been had coffee spilled on it and then
Oh.
But let me see. Emerald. I did not write it down.
Okay, so there is an entry for it under the sequel trilogy. The book is called Felborn's Treatise.
Felborn's Treatise. Cool. It's in my notes now.
So you should have access to the handout for it.
Oh, okay. Let me go. And it's
It's
under
the
top?
sequel trilogy.
Okay.
It's most of the way down. So if you open up the sequel trilogy
I see it.
folder, there it is. Okay.
Okay. Excellent. Big beefy book. Yeah, so basically it's about the prediction that the Roman Empire would fall. But most of the text focuses on the preservation of knowledge that must be minimally necessary to allow civilization to survive and recover from an existential threat. So, like, philosophically interesting, but what does this have to do with anything? Is my follow-up question as I go to return the book to her.
So you go to return the book. And sure enough, let's see. So remember, there's the sort of outer office where there's a staff member there, and you see sort of in the inner office, you do see Dr. Winters.
Mm-hmm. I knock and go. I don't talk to the secretary. I just knock.
You just sort of do the I walk around you and go to the door.
Yeah, it's not even like mean. It's just unobservant and like focused in my. This is where I'm going.
For some reason, the receptionist doesn't put up any. Doesn't even say anything.
Okay.
Either you've been given a green light to go in, or or the receptionist may be there to stop random students and faculty from going in.
Excellent.
But you do knock on the door. Ah, yes. Let's see. You gave her the name. Trying to remember what name you gave her.
Let me pull up my. I think I know. I think it was Alex.
Alex Kingery.
Yep.
Okay. Ah, Miss Kingery.
Hello.
So you've finished Felborn's Treatise, have you?
Yes. Was good to stretch my recollection of Latin.
Very good.
However, I'm a little confused on why such philosophy is relevant to our previous conversation.
Well, we were talking about insurance policies.
Right.
This is an early attempt at insurance policy.
I see.
The use of knowledge as insurance against a dying civilization.
I mean, best to catalog and archive the knowledge we have to pass on to whatever survivors are left, I suppose.
All right. Well, if you're finished, I'll take it back.
I hand it over.
I do have one more if you're interested.
Perhaps.
Or we can talk some more.
Perhaps that too. What is the book?
So she passes you a book, and it is. I'll show that one to everyone. It is also in Latin. This is bound in leather and just says Prophecies on the title page by
I see.
Nostradamus.
Interesting. I've of course know the summary of this. However, I've never read it myself. Is this a part 2 to the book you've previously given me in terms of the story where?
More of a counterpoint.
I see.
This volume is interesting in that the widely known publication of the prophecies of Nostradamus was in French in 1555. This is perhaps the only original Latin, 1553.
She delicately takes it and almost reverently.
I offer this as counterpoint to the previous, and a bit of discernment. Can you pull truth out of nonsense? Can you pull the true prophecies from the false?
So you've given me an ancient puzzle book.
Yes. It lacks the banality of Where's Waldo, but you may not think so by the time you've finished.
I have a feeling it will give me as many headaches as the those magic eye puzzles.
Yes, never been able to get those.
Anyway, so I'll read this and return, and in the meantime, I've been working on some astral combat abilities and the ability to heal injury done.
Ah, very good.
Yeah. I would like to focus the next bit on being able to defend myself or attack on the astral on a larger scale, but I seem to have mastered the ability to attack one target at a time. Anything you suggest I practice or look into?
She raises an eyebrow. You mean something along the lines of you've learned a single target monospell and you wish to learn the astral nuke spell, as it were.
That's a less delicate way to put it, yes.
Fair enough. Sometimes more than one astral entity attacks, and yeah, it's good to be able to deal with that.
Perhaps one of the things I would be interested in learning, as I get the time, of course, is to initiate into doing what I noticed you did on our first meeting. Oh, well, our previous meeting. I've been able to center my powers, but being able to mask them would be extremely helpful.
Masking is quite helpful in public. Indeed,
Yes.
I can assist with that.
And unfortunately, the people that I tend to travel with have been very, very public of late.
Ah, Well, I suppose there are always those.
All right. Anything else?
Enjoy the book. I look forward to hearing your impressions.
All right. She just turns and leaves.
Okay. All right, so we'll pick up. This will be the next morning. Okay. So we'll start with Violet. It's early Friday morning. Too early. The Seattle clouds aren't even lit yet. Your comlink buzzes. The early morning show, Get Up Seattle, has just started, so it's about 5 a.m. You're not even sure how that show got piped into your feed, unless they've changed their AR spam again.
Well, since I don't use any kind of AR spam filters, that's probably exactly what happened.
There was a message waiting.
I will check my message.
So the message says, from Denny. Subject, Dead Fans Switch. And the body of the message says, not many know I've come to see you play these last few weeks, but I was on the job and trying to keep a low profile. You're good. Anyway, if you're reading this message, I'm dead. I'm kind of in a hurry, and a large message might be traced, so I have to keep it brief. I've heard you do investigations on the side, and I hope you're as good at that as you are at music. I was a private investigator myself. I dare not name my quarry here, because it might make the message more traceable. I have some notes stashed at my office, and I hope it'll be enough. The message ends, but attached to the message are an address in West Seattle, near Puget Sound, and 5,000 new yen.
Did the message come through at 5 a.m. or was it there before?
Yeah, it came through at 5 a.m.
Okay.
5 a.m. on the dot.
Violet plays the message again to make sure that she heard that correctly, and then we'll sort of roll out of bed and start. Well, I guess I'm up now. And she'll send a message to the team and tries to send it with like a silent delivery, but instead does the opposite because she's not good with computers. That she has a job.
So you send it in message form and not calling people.
Well, yeah, she doesn't want to wake anybody up.
Okay.
Not intentionally.
So, Curie, you are awakened to perhaps the loudest country song you've heard in a while.
I wanted to make the joke that yes, I am awakened.
That is dangerously close, ma'am.
I know.
She went puntastic.
I don't know if it
Finally happened.
I don't know if it was a pun more than wordplay, but
It's the same thing.
no.
They're definitely cousins.
So we have the awakened person, and we have Nova. You're nearing the end of a long shift. This is, I mean, you started the shift with whatever the guy's name was. And at about right around 5 is when the manager comes in the manager's going to take over for the day shift, and says, "I got your application. You know, we're opening a new branch, and you'd be perfect to manage that branch. You've done such an amazing job." And he points to the many Employee of the Month accolades you've amassed.
Yeah, Greg, look at the time. I gotta go. Bye.
And it's at that point that the loudest country song you ever heard plays on your comm link.
I give him like a, and then I grab some caffeine and just take it straight up off the shelf in front of him and open it, drink it, and leave.
All right. He sort of shrugs. And you leave the store. The country song is still playing, by the way.
I check it, answer it.
So it's a message. So you're both seeing a message from Violet.
I let her know I'm on the way.
Same. I start looking up bus routes.
Here we go.
Is it time for an awkward bus ride?
How
All
far
bus rides
How
are
far
awkward.
away?
All bus rides are awkward.
How far away is the meeting place?
Violet would have given her address because she's not sure what to expect from his office quite just yet.
Okay.
It is
So
like
you-
an artist collective loft kind of area that it was clearly intended for something non-residential, but there are definitely there's weird paints all over the walls. There's weird sculptures that don't belong in a garden, definitely out in the garden, and they're little those foldy doors kind of sectioned off to make rooms. Very fancy.
Oh, the screens
Yeah, the folding screens.
that you've made makeshift cube farm out of.
Exactly. Yeah.
So an awkward bus ride later, and you have arrived at the this artist collective. It looks like.
I look around, kind of surprised not to see Fisher's van.
You do not see the van. You've seen no sign of Mr. Bell. And so you look up at this building, and there is one loft that's lit. Because it's like, by now, with the bus ride, it's probably 6:15.
I'll do my usual, and as the bus is pulling up, I leave my body for a second to go astrally perceive and make sure no hellhounds are going to jump me or anything, and then I'll get off the bus and go.
Sure, go ahead and make a sensing test.
You got it. Skills, astral. Oh, it's going to ask me follow-up questions.
Oh, by the way, you've been fully healed, and all of your edge has been refreshed.
I like that. 4 hits.
Okay. So no hellhounds ready to eat your face. You get a mellow vibe in astral space here.
That's interesting. All right. Yeah, I'm going to get off the bus and head inside.
All right. Yeah, so as you were able to zip through the building very briefly, And you do see that Violet's waiting there, just sort of sitting there. I guess the Trid on in the background.
Where are the others?
So you guys have shown up now. The door, there's a knock at the door, and the two of them are there when you open the door.
The two of who?
So when Violet, when you open the door,
okay.
Nova and Curie are there.
Well, good morning, ladies. I know it is really early, and I do apologize. I hadn't heard from the boys, so I don't know what's going on there, but I got a weird message, and I was hoping that y'all could help me out.
You like see Curie's shoulders relax? Like all of a sudden she just seems like a little bit like more focused or attentive or open or something.
Yeah, the collective will do that to you. If you are opposed to drugs, we'll just hang outside. I can't control what the rest of these folks are doing. That's all. But it's very relaxing in there. So if you ever need to come chill, I got you covered.
There are people doing drugs in there, and I just walk in.
Well, I mean, sure, I'll give y'all the tour. Come on. So this is our living space that we all share. Ron is supposed to take care of the blankets. He has not washed them yet. I would not touch those. And this over here is our little kitchen area and some pots that are not in great shape, but we do what we want. And then over here, this is all our spaces. So there's some studios over there. And this here is my room / studio. And I don't mind the plants in the back. I can't tend to keep any of them alive. I tried to make it green, but that didn't work out for me. So that's the whole tour. I know, it's very fancy.
This is amazing. I feel like every time Noah goes to like touch something, Violet's just like, I wouldn't touch that if I were you.
Can't guarantee how clean anything is.
Yep.
There may be all sorts of residues. So definitely take it at your own risk. I can't stop you. You are a grown person. But there is a recommendation that if you don't own it, maybe don't touch it because you don't know where you're in.
Incredible.
What do you need, Violet?
So there is a young man who came to watch a lot of my sets, and I sort of got used to seeing him. And I saw him last night when I was performing, and I got a message from him this morning that he's dead. But it was a message from him that he was dead, and that I should investigate why he's dead.
So I do have it as a handout now. I'll go and show it to you. I meant to do that before the stream and hadn't. So,
Violet, do you care that he's dead, or?
I mean, he was a nice young man. He came to watch. He always got him a pitcher of Soywiser and those wingless. And I noticed because he used a fork and a knife to eat his wings, which is not really correct, but he, I don't know about troll culture if you just use forks and knives for things, and I'm not going to tell someone how to eat their food, but it stuck in my brain pan that I noticed him. Also, he's kind of a big feller, so you tend to notice those.
And he wants you to investigate his murder or take over his case, or what is this?
I think he just wanted me to look into it. He said he left 5,000 new yen, so Can't pay y'all much, but I'll split it with you. And he was a private investigator, and he got an office near Puget Sound.
I'm willing.
Real concerned someone might be listening in. That's why I want y'all to come here first.
Yeah, I'm willing to help you, Violet, of course.
I seem to be weighing the odds of some things before I finally also agree.
Well, I'll buy y'all some soy calf when we can head out that direction.
Amazing.
My dog wants to play real bad, guys.
So since we are close to the 9 o'clock hour, this seems like a good place to take our first break. So we will we'll take a 5-minute break, and remember all sorts of things.
Yes, a couple things for you guys to do while we're on break. Don't forget to check out Pure Alchemy Soap's Kickstarter that has 6 days left. It's the Gelatinous Cube Soap Kickstarter, and you can find it at remalternis.com/soap. Number 2, check out the Shadowrun Edge Zone Kickstarter. It's on day 3 of the 2-week Kickstarter. We're at $63,000 we just passed. The link is in the chat. And don't forget, type hashtag RemPC in the chat right now to enter to win for free a copy of both of Brian C.P. Steele's Shadowrun fiction novels. One is called Control Issues, and one is called Tourist Trapped. So hashtag RemPC, or you can also get bonus entries to win by going to remalternis.com/Nuyen or patreon.com/remalternis. We'll be back in 5 minutes, everyone.
Welcome to the 6th world, Shadowrun. Edge Zone. New visuals. Enhanced design. Choose your runner. Collect your Nuyen. Buy the latest cyberware, bioware, gear, magic options, and weaponry. Accept your mission. Fight to survive. Unleash your power. Slow down the competition. Come out on top. Edge Zone, the Shadowrun upgradable card game. Now you make the power plays.
Spell.
Spells.
She says spell like 92 times.
You gotta feel it.
Spell. 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 Spell.
Oh, what the heck?
Ready to level up your cosplay game? Check out the Geek Forge on Etsy. With a variety of props to give your photos that extra spark, you'll find just what you need. Hold magical fire in the palm of your hand, or take a potion to restore your mana. With a large variety of colors, you can choose your own magical flavor for your cosplay. Bring drama to your photo shoots with these vibrant props and more, all available at the Geek Forge. Are you ready to level up your cosplay?
And welcome back. Our runners have just been hired, apparently by a dead man or a dead fan.
All right. Let's go. Let's go check it out. How are we getting there? Should we call a cab?
So we can take the bus. I think it might be a bit of a ride, but I did just get this really cool ad on my AR for Rent a Rigger. I don't know anything about them, but their ads are really good. I should probably see if Fisher can help me turn on the spam filter because I don't know how to do that. But here's the information if we want to rent a rigger.
I don't want to pay for it.
Yes, that is also my reservation.
Do you get free buses?
I'm happy to pay for Johnny Cab, and I'll start calling one up on my.
Okay. Does anybody have a medium lifestyle?
I show you the bottom of my sneaker, Violet, and there's like a hole that's started to form.
Okay. Yeah, so you call a Johnny Cab. I forget if that's actually the name of it in Seattle.
I don't. It might even be made up. I don't know.
There is a grid cab,
Grid cab. We'll go with that.
which is it's automated. You don't have to deal with a driver.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah, but it is called grid cab because you are limited to grid guide, and it's cheap enough. Let's see here. I just had that open. $0.25 per kilometer. So we'll call that lifestyle, with the understanding that it takes you longer to get places because you don't have your own vehicle, and there are places the grid cab will not go.
Okay. I mean, at least it'll get us close, if not. Hopefully.
Yes, but Billy says there for $5,000 you can buy a Dodge Scoot. Unfortunately, it carries the driver and only one passenger.
Nova's fit. Nova can just jog alongside.
Hey, do I need piloting skills to ride a bicycle, or is that athletics?
So under normal circumstances, there's no roll required. It's when you try to do stunt stuff or combat stuff with it that you need piloting for it.
Amazing. I steal a bicycle.
There are definitely bicycles here.
One of Violet's roommates' bikes.
Hey, I'm just going to borrow this, and then I take it and I leave.
Well, she broke your rule, Violet. She touched something that wasn't hers.
You didn't even spray it down first.
It's not even a rule, really. I mean, just it's more of a heavy suggestion to not touch things that you don't know about.
Violet will grab a paintbrush with like a towel wrapped around the brush and do a very crude painting of a bike with a V underneath it where the bike was sitting.
Okay.
Just paint it on the cement floor. Yeah.
All right.
I leave the 10 nuyen I stole from Francois earlier, and I put it down.
All right. And the other two of you just get a grid cab?
I guess so.
All right. The grid cab will take you to this place, to this address. Grid cab pulls up to a 38-story office building. And there's all sorts of AR spam around.
Did he
The
tell
so
you?
the address did include an office number. It is room 304.
Did he leave you a way to get inside? I assume it's locked.
I mean, he didn't give me a passcode or nothing, so I guess we'll figure it out when we get there. I
Right.
never had a job from a dead person before.
Even though we don't have a Decker, I'm still very positive about helping. I'm very pleased it's a girl's night. So this way.
So the three of you go into the building, and there's a reception desk, but there's no receptionist, and there's a bank of elevators behind. And there's this massive sort of on both sides. There's this massive AR display with like where offices are.
Allow me to do my search, and then we can go up.
That's a great idea.
Is this office complex clean, dirty?
In the astral?
No, just in like looking around.
Just in general, kind of middle. I mean, it's clean, but it's fairly well trafficked.
Okay, I'll lean on, instead of sitting on the ground, then I'll lean on Nova and go astral. It's like that lean that just collapses.
Yeah. So she sort of just leans, and then her whole body weight comes down that shoulder.
I do not like do any. I just stand there, and then if she rolls off of me, that's sorry.
Oh, Nova. Oh, Nova.
Okay, so you take the knowledge of the room number and go up to the third floor and start looking around.
Yeah, I know I'm not going to know which direction because I can't read things from
Right.
The astral, but I just want to grid through that floor and make sure there's no spiritual who's-y what's-its.
Go ahead and make it a sensing test.
Okay. Two.
That's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
But it's enough. There's no place on the third floor that's warded.
Okay.
You do find there are a couple offices where there are watcher spirits hanging around. There's one that has let's see, with 2 hits. You do notice a plant spirit in one room, and you notice there is one office. There's sort of a 3-part office. There's like an outer office, an inner office, and there's a closet. And there's a guy sleeping. There's somebody sleeping in the closet that is just gray with a little bit of magic surrounding it.
Gray, so... And definitely sleeping?
Subject is dead.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll go back to my body. Dead body in the closet.
So you regain consciousness and you are laying on the floor. And Nova's just standing there over you.
I still wake up like dead body in a closet, and then I realize I'm on the floor and kind of give Nova a look, but I won't say anything.
All right.
Well, I guess dead bodies can't really bother us, so we'll go see if that's Denny.
Yeah, I imagine it's your fan. No astral threats, though, on that floor.
So you did see in that office area on the windowsill there is a plant spirit.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that already.
It sort of slides off the mind, like
Yeah. Yeah. Plants. So not threatening.
Call this one Fern.
Yeah. All right. There is a spirit present, but could be no, it'd be released if it was his. So someone planted it there.
You know,
I'm just gonna go.
Back in the day, in order for doctors to study anatomy and teach their students, they had to steal dead bodies for their studies. The theory goes that doctors would illegally hide illegally obtained corpses and skeletons in cupboards and closets. So,
You think someone's doing a study?
could be Violet. And I pat her shoulder and hit the elevator button.
And the elevator doors open. It looks like the rest of the area. It's the rest of the building so far. It's it's not bright, and shiny, and new, but it is relatively serviceable. So you get in, you punch 3, and you go up to 3, and you find the office. So you're outside a door. So Suite 304. And it is labeled Denton Investigations, Peter Denton, PI.
I try the door.
It is locked. There is a maglock there.
Is there a mat or anything?
No, there's not like a welcome mat outside.
Well, I don't know where else to look for a key.
I don't know that in Shadowrun that this works, but I'm gonna try it because Kiri doesn't know decking either. Can I put a hand on the lock, the mag lock, because it's electronic, right?
Yeah, it's a card reader.
So I want to do that and cast lightning bolt into it and see if I can.
All right.
God, we are all getting electrocuted. I'm walking away.
Here we go. So go ahead and make that roll.
I'm walking away. I walked away.
You don't know what I'm doing.
Feet off the floor. Nothing.
6 hits.
Okay. And go ahead and roll your drain.
Okay.
Are you chanting in Latin to center?
Yes, I am. And I am going to. Here's what it says. I haven't looked up my lightning bolt spell. So let's see. I say Fulgar.
Okay. Let's see. So 6 hits. And it does, let's see, it's half magic plus net hits. It's going to roll. Okay, so your lightning bolt sort of jumps from your fingers to the maglock, the card reader, and it sparks and it melts.
I think in my head that I either melted that lock into place or melted the lock, which broke it, and now I can push the door open. So I'm going to try it.
So you push, and it is still closed.
Damn it!
You tried the doorknob, and it is still locked.
Oh. What is the door part made of?
So it's the standard sort of PI office door. So it's like that half. It's sort of faux wood with like like a plexiglass sheet, and his like Denton Investigations is sort of stenciled on it.
Oh my god, I popped the glass.
Do you just put your fist through it, or are you trying to do this subtly?
Just put my fist through it. The dude's dead.
Okay.
You've been role playing with her for a while, man. Subtly dead.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so fist through door or through plexiglass. It doesn't shatter. It does sort of pop off as one full sheet and then smacks onto the floor.
Look, we can pop it back in afterwards. This is great.
Well, that's much better. I was going to suggest punching the wall, but yours is much better.
I climbed through the window.
Okay.
I'm grumpy.
I want to roll athletics to see how well I climb through the window.
Hey, if you want to roll, you can roll. Okay. So yeah, you do a sort of tuck and roll, and you're on your feet.
If I rolled low, I wanted to say that I like kind of leaned over through the opening and then like head first slid down.
I mean, you could do that if you want, but you rolled high enough that you don't accidentally do it.
Nah, score's pretty good. I'm a professional.
So what you see in here, it's an outer office. Like there would be if this were like a more professional office, there'd be a receptionist out here. But there's a desk here, but it's completely clean. And there's a similar door without a maglock that apparently leads to an inner office that just says private. And it is sort of ajar.
Oh my god, I used my foot and I toe it open.
Okay. So as you toe it open, it does there's some resistance as it sort of scrapes along some paperwork and assorted other stuff. This inner office is completely ransacked. There are papers and assorted stuff strewn about the room. There are actual file cabinets that have been pulled open and contents just sort of splayed onto the floor. And you do see, so there's a window, and there is a go ahead and make a perception test. Okay. So you do see there's a closet. That door is closed. That's a full length faux wood door. And there's a potted plant on the windowsill. The pot appears to be sort of dried dirt, but the plant is fully alive, and it's overgrown the pot.
We're still outside, right? Me and Violet.
You're still standing out in the hallway.
Okay.
Hey Violet, someone really messed up your boyfriend's office.
I didn't say nothing now about boyfriend.
Well, I can't call him boyfriend anymore. He's not around.
Well, that's a very complicated thing to think about right now. Can we come inside? Is it safe?
Yeah, you can come inside. It's just dirty. How can he not be your boyfriend? You studied the fact that he ate with a fork and knife for his wings.
He sat up front and was always. I'm very perceptive.
Can I reach in and open the door from?
Yes, you certainly can do that.
Thank you.
there's some resistance because apparently the lock has been melted in place, but you're able to.
You know what?
you'll-
Don't sass me.
But you were able to like pull the door handle and open the door.
Okay. All right. I'll walk in and go to look at the plant.
Okay.
I want to talk to it. It's a spirit, right?
That's what you sensed it before.
All right. So I'm just going to walk up to the plant and be like, I'm going to switch my vision to astral so I can see if its aura gets pissed off or anything, but gets mad. And then, yeah.
So, good. So, let's see. You had already sensed it too. So,
I didn't do aura reading.
you can go and do an aura reading.
5 hits.
Okay. It is a small plant spirit. It is a plant spirit, Force 2. It appears to be getting madder as you approach it. And then it sort of hisses out. So this, and you hear this, Nova, as this potted plant sort of hisses out at Curie. This is my windowsill.
You can have it.
Dude, no one wants your windowsill.
I know you want my windowsill. There's lots of sun.
All I want is to know what happened inside here, and then we can go and leave you and your windowsill alone.
No, nothing happened here.
Really? There's no dead body in the closet?
Point it reaches for you. So I'll ask you, Curie, to make a reaction plus intuition test.
Cool. Cool.
Oh, Chad.
Reaction is 1. Intuition is 3, so I got 4 hits.
All right. So you can just go and roll initiative.
Yeah.
Oh my god, is this plant about to fight you?
Apparently. I rolled an 11.
Just you?
So far.
So far. So you do get to react. You get the sense it is about to take a swipe at you.
I'm gonna, and it's manifested, right? Because it's on the sill.
Yeah, it is materialized, and in fact, Nova, you see this plant, this potted plant, sort of reach out tendrils, vines from the potted plant, reaching toward Curie.
All right. So what I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna do an ice spear through it. Hopefully I don't kill it because I want to be like, one last chance to tell me what I need to know, or you're never going to be enjoying the sunlight again. So.
While
Ice spear.
While this plant is distracted by her, can I just walk up behind it and push it off the ledge of this windowsill?
The window's not open.
Like
What if
into
you like push it through the window?
No, I wanted to like just knock it off the sill onto
onto the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll initiative, and we'll add you to the. Ooh. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. Half magic and net hits. Okay, so the ice spear sort of goes through the pot and starts. You start seeing frost creep up the tendrils.
I say my threat.
Okay. Nova, go ahead and make a. We'll just have you make an agility test.
Hey, do I get an edge for using agility?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. So Nova plays the role of a cat here and just walks up and shoves the potted plant off the windowsill. The potted plant sort of shatters, and as it shatters, it sort of vaporizes as it dematerializes.
I turn and look at Nova and be like, seriously?
I have no words. I didn't expect it to just disappear.
Just like a cat.
I'm gonna go get the dead body.
So where are you going?
Go to the closet to where the dead body is.
So you go to the closet, open the door, and there you see there's a golden orc male. So this is a golden statue, life size, wearing where you see the tank top. He's covered in a blanket, and he's holding a Browning Ultra Power, and the laser sight is pointing not quite at the door, but sort of off to the side toward the end of what appears to be a bed. So this is a room that's been sort of makeshift converted into a bedroom. And sort of frozen there as a golden statue.
Did you say that Denny was a troll or an orc?
Orc.
Oh, I had troll in my notes. Sorry.
Hey, Violet.
So in fact, I have a picture of poor Denny. There we go.
Hey, Violet. I found out where all the magic happens for this guy, but you should come look at this.
I didn't know he could do magic. And I will go over and see what Nova has discovered.
All right, so you step into the office and make your way to the sort of side closet from the inner office. And sure enough, there is the closet's been converted into a makeshift bedroom. And there is poor Denny, solidified into a golden statue, pointing his Browning Ultra Power, which is not gold, by the way. So the pistol is not gold, and the clothes are not gold, but Denny is.
Well, he didn't look like that last time I saw him.
So weird. Who would keep a gold statue of himself in his room? It sounds like a waste of money. Hey, Curie, didn't you say there was a body in here?
Yeah, that's it.
This is it?
Yes. I look at it again in Astral to make sure that, like, this was a person.
So you don't see the living aura anymore, but there is definitely really what you're seeing is sort of dead aura buried in magic.
Definitely a dead person surrounded by magic, so he's been turned to gold.
Violet's gonna pick up something off the floor, like some notepad or some sort of office supply, because she doesn't want to poke him with her finger in case it's contagious.
Go ahead and make a perception test. Yeah, so you're going to pick up something, and you do notice that there is a guitar laying on the floor. It's the same brand of guitar that you play. It's a lower, sort of the entry model of that brand. It has sort of been scratched and dented, and you sort of see where it might have been hung on the wall at some point. And you pick it up.
And I'm gonna turn it around and poke him with the head of the guitar.
Okay. So you're sort of holding the larger end and poking him with the neck, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as you hold the guitar in this sort of awkward way and sort of poke him, you hear dum dum dum.
I think
You're hitting a metal. It's then that you see in the guitar, you see there's something like inside the guitar cavity that's sort of taped to the underside, taped to the inside of it.
Well, that's definitely not supposed to be there. And I'll fish it out.
Okay. So you fish it out. So there is a attached to this strip of tape are a data chip and a silver cred stick.
I think this is our payment, ladies.
I'll slot it in my burner comm link that I have just to check it and make sure.
Yep. So it has 10,000 new yen on it.
10,000.
Oh, he said 5 in his message. So, can you look at the data chip?
If anybody has any computer skills, why don't you roll that?
I have electronics.
Yeah, electronics. Thank you. Okay. You know just enough, and you've dealt with enough new yen transactions that you know. So she said 5,000 new yen was sent to her. That's about the largest that you could send without it being tracked somehow.
So much fear of tracking.
I share that information, and then I say, looks like we get 5,000 new yen each, ladies.
Well, that's awful nice.
Hold on.
Denny just keeps on giving, huh?
Was he a good tipper at the club?
Well, I don't know. We could ask.
What about the data chip?
So you slot the data chip, and it's a collection of files that as you sort of read through them, you get the sense that this is an investigation file that Denny had been investigating something for a name that is familiar to you. I wonder if I have a picture. I do have a picture. Oh, did I use the wrong picture for him? Oh, that's a shame. So the name. And the name of the client is Marin Quazanique. The name sounds familiar.
To all of us?
Yes, because Curie, your spirit, killed him when you guys took possession. When you guys raided his collection.
Yeah, the obsessed guy.
The obsessed guy with the stone hand with a living aura.
Oh no.
But this guy apparently is a collector. And according to the file, Denny has been running an investigation for a couple of months. When a couple of months ago, a gilded rose was stolen from Marin's collection. And as part of the data file, there's some pictures. So there's a picture of from the collection, and then there's a picture of a fresh rose that apparently, I guess by the time the picture was taken, it wilted. But apparently a fresh rose was switched for the gilded rose. Denny was paid in advance for the investigation, but it came up empty until about a week ago when he stumbled onto a Talismonger shop in Snohomish.
Who's the Talismonger?
So the Talismonger is called, the shop is called Mary's Farm, or Mari's Farm. And it's in Snohomish. There are pictures of the inside of the shop that look to be pictures taken at night under minimal lighting. And it's basically it's a tiny shop that's filled with plants, like you would have like you'd have a fruit stand at the side of the road would be filled with fruit. This place is filled with plants. And there's a little side office with a desk and a little terminal. And then there's in that office, there's a little workshop where there appears to be, in the pictures, you see some alchemical supplies.
Hmm.
And then as part of this file, there is also a log from a comm call that he got last night from the Talismonger. And the Talismonger's name comes up in the message traffic, Ishioka Mari. This person hung up immediately, but the call log is there. And you think there might be some metadata if only you had a Decker. Or if you can roll particularly well on an electronics test.
Shall I roll my 3 die, ladies?
Well, that's 3 more than me.
Yep.
You got all this tasty edge you've been amassing.
Can I use leadership to inspire her?
Yeah, you can use leadership. Actually, let me check something out. I need to see that side. Yes, you can use leadership as a teamwork test. What is your skill? So Nova, your electronic skill is rank 1, is that right?
Yep.
So you'll be able to get up to 1 hit from this. So instead of 3 dice, you'll be rolling 4.
Nova, you got this. You are the best lady decker that I know.
Oh, that's 3 hits altogether.
All right. Who needs a decker?
It's ladies' night.
So there is a, the standard metadata that gets compiled with any comm traffic in the call log. Things like the number it came from, the number they were calling, and as part of that metadata, you're also able to uncover that Denny was broadcasting his SIN and his PI license. So as part of that call, the ID, the SIN, and the PI license would have gone out when he answered the call. Peter Denton, PI.
Mm.
Well, I share with the group.
Do you think they thought it was someone else? When was that call, Bob?
By the timing, it would have been the call that he picked up during your set.
Is the name Ishioka Mari, is that familiar at all?
You can make a. Ooh, do you have Seattle area knowledge?
No, I just got here.
Yeah, if you just got here, it's probably not a name that's obvious to you.
Okay.
Let me see what other knowledge skills you might bring to bear.
Got Aries, runner bars, history, English, Latin, ancient Greek, quasi-resonant precognition.
No. No, you've never heard the name.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds vaguely Japanese.
Yeah. What do you make of this, Violet?
Did it look like he was working for Marin or investigating Marin?
So by the pictures he took of Mari's farm, it looks like, I mean, these pictures are pretty clearly, you break in the middle of the night and take photos. This is straight up surveillance.
Okay. So it looks like he was working for Quasinique?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think that we killed his client. But I don't know a whole lot about magic. I know a little bit. Kiri, you know anything about this rose?
It's just a photo, right? It's
Yeah,
all
so
we have.
there are 2 photos. One is of a gold gilded rose, and the other is of a regular fresh rose that is slightly wilted.
So, and is the timestamp on the 2? Is one come before the other?
Yeah, the gilded rose is a much older photo.
So I don't
So,
get...
the sense that you get from this is that the Gilded Rose was part of Quasinique's collection,
Mm-hmm.
and it was switched out for a fresh rose.
So, all right. So someone stole this, theoretically. Someone stole this Gilded Rose and left this one in its place. However, how one makes something into gold, considering the super fan we had before, that hand we saw that we didn't touch.
Present company didn't touch.
I'm playing in character where I don't know that Mr. Bell is a son of a. So we don't. I don't know what's become of that hand that we left there, but that would be my guess as to how he got solidified into gold. But I don't know the significance of this rose being stolen other than for the value, and then who did it and who left the wilted one in its place. Perhaps the same person that left that spirit there. I saw its aura. Theoretically, maybe I could identify the mage if I ever ran into them based on the aura of the spirit, but there was nothing familiar about it, right?
Nothing familiar about it. Except, since you did identify the signature on the spirit, it does look like the same. Whoever the spirit summoner is probably responsible for the golden fan, as it were.
Yeah. So I guess if we track down who has the hand, we track down the killer, but that doesn't help us solve whatever he was investigating.
So you also notice that based on the files that you're looking at in this data chip, the Gilded Rose went missing 2 months ago. You have seen the white hand more recently than 2 months ago. That was probably only about maybe 3 weeks ago.
Well, it's possible that, yes, but it's possible that the super fan that we eliminated used the hand to turn this rose into gold for whatever reason, or the previous owner could have as well, since we don't know how long he had the hand. But
Nova, you know lots of stuff about Mr. Berserker and his illustrious film career. Did he ever deal with stone hands or gold roses or anything like that? Any very special episodes?
I'm gonna roll a memory test.
Sure. Yeah, you do remember there's one very special episode of The Billy Show way back in the day where the villainous mage was wearing a brooch that was wearing essentially a Gilded Rose as a brooch. And it was something that Billy's friend called a power focus.
Kiri, what do you know about power focuses?
yes, please.
Gilded Rose could be one?
We should find this rose.
And with that, we've reached the 10 o'clock hour.
I want a new toy. Well, if we're going to take our 10-minute break, friends, please do two things for me. First, go to remalternis.com/soap and pledge to the Kickstarter for the gelatinous cube jelly soaps, so that we can unlock. The next color is a blood red one, which is really cool. It's cinnamon sandalwood scented. And we've already unlocked the black pudding. We have the classic blue and the green slime. If we hit the red, I think there's a purple one after, and I wants it. So please help us get there. 6 days left, so you're going to forget if you don't do it right now. remalternis.com/soap. And then also go back, Shadowrun Edge Zone, the upgradable card game. I've gotten to play it once and watch it played twice, and I'm teaching it tomorrow. It's a lot of fun. I haven't played a card game like this before, so personally, but it's a lot of fun. You get over 300 cards for $40. If you get both sets, you save $5 or $10. I can't remember, but that's like over 600 cards, and you have all the cards. It's wonderful. We're in stretch goals. We've unlocked card sleeves as an add-on, which will be added soon, and then also we get extra cards as we reach new stretch goals. So help us get there. That one, the link is really long, so I'm not going to say it. It's in the chat. And finally, enter to win. So 3 things you need to do. Go to those 2 links and pledge. And number 3, type in #RemPC in the chat to enter to win the 2 fiction books in PDF, both by Brian C.P. Steele, who writes for Shadowrun, and they're both Shadowrun fiction novels.
They're on the screen.
They're on the screen. I'm not sure. I think I usually point up somewhere. Down.
They're right below
you. So please type in #RemPC. It's totally free to do that, to enter to win. That gets you 1 entry. And you can also go to remalternis.com/Nuyen for additional pledges and to leave a message for the runners to read at the end of the show. So please do that, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Bye!
And you're out.
Welcome to the 6th world, Shadowrun Edge Zone. New visuals. Enhanced design. Choose your runner. Collect your Nuyen. Buy the latest cyberware, bioware, gear, magic options, weaponry. Your mission. Fight to survive. Unleash your power. Slow down the competition. Come out on top. Edge Zone, the Shadowrun upgradable card game. Now you make the power plays.
The earth has changed. All that once was is no more. Cities renamed. Power reshaped. Races reborn. Reality reimagined. Violence unleashed. The earth has changed. She no longer sleeps. She has awakened.
What a spell!
Spells.
Spell!
Spells.
She says spell like 92 times.
You gotta feel it.
Spell, 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 spell.
Oh, well.
Ready to level up your cosplay game? Check out the Geek Forge on Etsy. With a variety of props to give your photos that extra spark, you'll find just what you need. Hold magical fire in the palm of your hand, or take a potion to restore your mana. With a large variety of colors, you can choose your own magical flavor for your cosplay. Bring drama to your photo shoots with these vibrant props and more, all available at the Geek Forge. Are you ready to level up your cosplay?
are live. Enjoy.
And welcome back. We are still at Denny's office as our investigators / runners figure out what they want to do next.
Bob, you make it sound like we should have made more progress.
No?
So, how do we track down this Rose? Like, is that what he wants? Us to finish his job, or are we supposed to avenge his death? I'm confused about our mission.
All he said was that there would be notes that he would leave and hope that we can make sense out of it.
So let's search his office and see if anything else can be found.
Perception roll.
Sure.
Oh. I'll stand here and look at this picture of this power focus.
Yeah, it's now the artifact everybody wants. Nova, you are quite certain that you have found what needs to be found. And you are also kind of convinced that the cred stick and the data chip were meant for Violet, with the implication that maybe she could help solve this case.
Everyone, there comes a time where there's two wolves inside you. And you have to decide which one to listen to.
I wince, waiting for the wolf fact to come up.
Okay, I decided to tell the truth. All right. Yeah, I think we've done what we can here. I think that he's trying to say that Violet can have the rest of this money if she can figure out what's... I don't know. I just wanted to say it was all over with and that we take this money and leave and call it a day.
Well, it looked like he was investigating that plant person. So maybe we go over there? Or...
Let's stop to this Talismonger. That's a lead.
Yeah, that's the plant person, isn't it?
Is that the same person?
Yeah, so the Talismonger shop is... that's the place you have photos of that's full of plants.
Well, then let's go, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe we should bring a windowsill as a peace offering.
No.
That was a joke. I was joking.
That's how it always begins. Pretty soon you're talking in puns.
Nope.
Keep sending those puns in, everyone.
Nope.
We'll wear it in.
I'll take my stolen bicycle.
Okay. So for the record, as I reach for my copy of Emerald City, and I look for how long it's going to take you to travel the entire sort of north-south route.
Oh, get out. No, it's going to take me 10 days. I take the bus.
Yeah. So apparently a grid car or a grid cab is called. Yeah, grid cab.
Yes, I would call it grid cab. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, so it's rated for maybe 30 minutes by car. So it would have taken you probably a couple of hours to ride it.
We'll get one where that has the bike rack, so you can take it with you.
I
Also,
just-
I don't know I can replace that bag.
I just had a image of us driving away in the cab, waving at Nova on the bike.
I would definitely road surf and just grab onto the side mirror.
Nice. All right, so you call Grid Cab.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Did Amber cut out for anyone else?
If I decided to just grip the side of the grid cab while on this bicycle, what would I have to roll to survive?
For 30 minutes?
For 30 minutes. I'm strong.
We'll do an athletics test.
And hope the GM is feeling much more considerate than I would be in
How
this
does Brian
situation.
feel?
So probably about halfway up, because the Grid Cab is driving at highway speed.
I'm going to use edge to roll my failures.
Oh
my god.
So are you spending 4 edge to reroll your failures? Okay.
The rest of this episode will feature Kiri and Violet while Nova recovers in the hospital.
That's 10 hits, everyone.
That's nice.
10 hits.
That's nice.
So are you rolling engineering also to relube every part that gets
don't do
melted
this
off?
to me, Tom, stop.
So you do arrive in Snohomish. You are in one piece. The tires on the bike, however, are not in rideable condition anymore. But you have successfully road surfed from downtown to Snohomish.
And I didn't have to pay for that cab.
I was paying for it.
I didn't know if you'd bill me later.
Ridiculous.
While we are riding in the cab, well, some of us are riding in the cab, I would like to try and look up Mari's farm on social media.
Sure. Let's see. Do you have a social media knowledge skill?
I do. I have social media and the Horizon Hip system.
Okay. So go ahead and take an edge for that.
Since I don't have a computer skill.
Unskilled intuition.
Intuition? All right.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Considering it was 4 dice.
Yes, 2 hits on 4 dice is pretty good. Yeah, so you recall from your last visit to Snohomish that it's the farm community, and Snohomish is dominated by 2 agribusinesses, Aqua Arcana and Ingersoll Berkeley. Aqua Arcana produces a lot of the aquatic stuff like krill. Ingersoll Berkeley is as close as you can get to the actual soy plant. What it looks like before it comes out of your dispenser. And what you find is that a lot of Mari's farm's business is with Aqua Arcana. So in all these social media pictures that people are taking, there frequently is a truck emblazoned with Aqua Arcana parked out front. And the sense you get is that Aqua Arcana is Mari's biggest customer.
And I will share that information.
Do we know anything about Aqua Arcana?
Mostly what I've said. They're one of the two big agribusinesses.
But like, are they part of any kind of like a subsidiary of any kind of megacorp? Anything in the news about how shady they are, or
Not really. They're sort of on their own out there, but they are. I forget who they're owned by offhand, but there are rumors, especially with with a name like Aqua Arcana. There's got to be mages,
right?
And so, I mean, using magic to enhance the growth of plants, what have you. That's the rumor that you know of.
Yeah. I mean, lucrative.
Better living through magic.
We thought GMOs were problematic.
Just wait till you get the Shadim infested corn.
Oh no! Kip's concerned. He just looked at me very concerned.
Mm-hmm. So you then arrive at a little shop, sort of on the side of the road. It's maybe a step up from the roadside stand, and there's a sign outside that says Mari's Farm. And it is currently closed. Geez, what time is it? It's probably something like, I don't know, 10 in the morning by now?
A plant shop or a talisman. I mean, I guess they don't have to be 9 to 5.
Yeah, it's listed as open from noon to 6.
Okay.
And you don't see any signs of anybody there.
Well, since we're early, I'm going to go ahead and flip to Astral Vision, see if there's any plants outside the store or any spirits that are hovering.
There is not. So as you sort of examine the area, you do sense that maybe the inside there's more life, more magic.
Yeah.
The outside is just sort of blah, sort of a cleared area. You do see with your normal vision, the building's been repainted recently, and the windows are fairly new.
So do you guys see this? There's been trouble here. I think windows broken, they've been replaced. Paint tells me blood splatter to cover up. Damage of some type.
Was there anything in their social media feed about renovation?
Yeah, there was. There was some. There were some posts about renovation or upgrading the facade, is what they called it. They did not indicate why.
What was the date on the post?
Maybe a month ago.
Well, here it looks like about a month ago is when they did the fixing. I mean, I wouldn't say why neither, even if it was just an innocent thing, but
Do you suppose we wait and have a civilized conversation when the store is open, or should we investigate now? By which there are spirits inside, and she's going to know that we were here either way.
well, I think if she's going no, then we might as well wait. Is there anything else around here?
You see up the road there are some fruit stands. Maybe a quarter mile, and then a little bit beyond that, there's a sort of enters a small sort of suburban area where there's like a town square. There's like a cafe. Out there, you don't see a stuffer shack anywhere around.
We might have to check one of them fruit stands, see if anybody remembers seeing anything.
Violet, why don't you work your magic and have some conversations?
Okay, if that's okay with y'all.
Please do.
So you wander up the road to so there's a fruit stand. And there's an older couple there, both human, who are selling fruit. You see a car drive up once in a while, and people get out, buy fruit, and drive off. And the old man pipes up. Well, howdy there.
Well, hi, how y'all doing?
I'm doing fine. How y'all doing?
We're doing good. We're
Beautiful day.
Yeah, it is surprisingly sunny for the time of year.
You look like a cantaloupe person. Interest you some cantaloupe.
I don't know if I'm a cantaloupe person or not. I mean, you're the expert, so I'm gonna take your word for it. My friends and I are looking at the flower shop over yonder, and was wondering.
Oh yeah, Mari's down there.
Yeah, do you know anything about it? We're not from these parts. I don't know if you can tell or not. And but a friend of ours sent us out and a recommendation, and we got here a little bit early before we came out. So, can you tell us some more about the flower shop down there?
Make an influence test.
Mm.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of ones.
It is a lot of ones.
That is dangerously close to a glitch.
Yeah, I got 2 ed for social tests during my first meeting with anyone for freshman.
Okay.
So I would like to spend those 2 and 2 more to reroll all my failures.
Okay.
All right, which one of the?
So the plus.
The plus.
Hey, folks, while she's rolling that, little tip, Shadowrun 6 tip from Teslon here. A GM can give a player bad luck so that their 2s count with an expenditure of edge. So that's always the option if it betters the story for people to do that. That's in Shadowrun 6. That's it.
I can just twist the knife into my flayers.
Sounds real powerful.
Sounds like a good way to make sure you don't have friends.
Wow.
There's no friends in GMing.
That's true. So I couldn't get the little button. A total of 8 now instead of 4.
Okay. Oh yeah. You know, she excuse me. She skedaddled out of here real early this morning.
Is everything okay? Is that not normal?
I mean, she didn't stop by or nothing, but I mean, she's been hassled quite a bit lately by the humanist people.
I don't like that.
I mean, she's and he sort of looks around and she's a troll, and I mean, those guys, terrible. I mean, they went by about a month ago and dang near burned the place down. But they found out the hard way. They was messing with the wrong person.
Oh yeah, I love hearing stories about them
Oh.
humanists getting their comeuppance.
Oh man, she had this flower, this sort of brooch that she was wearing, and I saw light gather around it, and like 3 of them went down. Just lights out.
Well, that does sound like a lucky break.
You know, I mean, there was another break in, and he sort of leans in real close. I mean, there was another break in a couple nights ago. Called the star. I called the star, but I mean, we're out here in the middle of nowhere, and they didn't get here in time to catch him. But there was a guy. I mean, I didn't get a good look at him. I mean, he looked kind of a big guy, not like troll big, but kind of a big guy. I think he like picked the lock on the door and snuck inside. He was in there for maybe 10 minutes or so. I don't know what he did in there, but he came out and walked away. He was long gone by the time the cops got there.
Well, I hate that y'all are having to deal with stuff like that.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a nice neighborhood. I mean, he looks around. It's like, I mean, this isn't like downtown.
Well, no, y'all got way more trees.
We got trees everywhere. She's got a real nice plant collection in there too. I don't think she moved any out. You know, once she opens, I mean, I don't know if she's going to open today. It seemed like she was in a hurry to get out of here. But maybe you come back tomorrow and you can see the plant collection.
Well, we definitely want to see the plant collection. That's why our friend we come out here.
She's got a real green thumb.
Yeah, I do not have a real green thumb. That is a special kind of magic.
He leans in close again. Don't say that too loud around here. I mean, people make their living off of planting stuff.
Well, that's why I come to buy things, because I can't plant it. So I buy what other people are planting.
So about these cantaloupes.
Well, yeah.
He
Now,
shoves like a couple into your hands.
yeah, I take these cantaloupes and take some for my friends too.
Oh, that's great. That'll be 10 new yen. And he like pops a couple more cantaloupes into your arms.
So armful of cantaloupes.
You want a bag for that?
That might be a good idea.
Yeah, let me get you a bag for that. And he goes and he's sort of gauging. He pulls out like the soy paper sack and loads up your cantaloupes, and it's struggling to hold the cantaloupes, but it does the job.
And I will slide over 25. Let me say, and I appreciate your time. I know chit-chatting.
Oh, you need some more cantaloupes for that. He like turns to go get another bag.
I just start to leave.
Okay. So you're gone by the time he gets back.
Yeah. I got cantaloupes. I don't know how to eat them. Do y'all know what these are?
Yeah, I think I know what to do. I take out my survival knife.
Stab.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah,
stab.
I mean, you've never seen it, but you've heard that you got to cut these things open. And I mean, what you see, I mean, what you've seen before is like the prepackaged sliced stuff that you get in the Stuffer Shack. The stuff that's probably gone stale by the time it gets to you, or that wasn't ripe when it got cut.
Ew, it's all just crusty and dry.
So you slice this one open, and it is perfectly ripe. And the smell hits your nose.
And I will share with them
Okay.
what I learned while talking to the very nice farmer.
Bob, how do I find out if I get sick or not from eating this?
In the too much information department, eating real food where you used to just soy stuffers. We'll have you make a.
Wait, okay. So what I would do is I would lick it to see if it was like good. Do I think it tastes good?
It does taste good.
All right, then I eat it, and then I'd like to roll for composure, I guess.
Go and make a body test.
Okay.
It's
It tells the story.
It's not a glitch, but no successes. You can't get a bite of this down. This is, I mean, it tastes good, but it's like it's so much different. It's like it's wet. It's
You know,
it's different than the dry stuff you're used to at the Stuffer Shack. You can't get it down.
you know, ladies, this is what you do with it, and then I just chuck it. I throw it. I throw one half away. Just whoosh, shock put it.
Okay.
So you cut it open and then you throw it?
Yep, that's all it's good for.
It's very sticky.
Yep.
Yeah, you do as you cut it open, you do get some of the juices all over you, and it's very sticky.
You just throw it on your enemies.
I'd like to eat mine, and then wipe my hands on my very white but very dirty lab coat.
Okay.
Do I need to make a roll to see if I can stomach
Sure.
it?
Hey, Curie, can I use your lab coat too?
Are we poisoning ourselves on
This is so awesome.
This is so dumb. we can defeat bad guys and we can't eat a piece of fruit.
You might not have ever seen. I mean, you've heard of cantaloupe. You've heard it's like some sort of a delicacy, and it's slimy and it's wet. I mean, it's. Do things live in this thing?
This is gross. I mean, like
And you have to cut through like an outer shell with a knife.
maybe you just lick it because it tastes good, but maybe you're not supposed to bite it.
Well, I like Nova's plan. I mean, if you cut it open and then they get hit with something heavy and there's so that seems like a pretty smart move there. I mean, he only charged me 10 new yen for it. So I assume that it is weapons grade fruit.
Oh my lord.
You know, I don't know why we do this. Like, we know what food is, and we know, like, you're supposed to eat it, but we act like we're aliens every single time and just.
This is all you, Amber. You had to ask.
This is your fault. But yeah, frankly, from a realistic standpoint, yeah, you might never have had actual like real fruit. aside from whatever you see in the stuffer shack, whatever you grab off the shelf.
Whatever's been prepackaged.
So with that fun thought in mind, as our three investigators stand outside Mari's farm, debating what to do with fresh cantaloupe, we will take our last break. We'll take a 5-minute break while we tally up the final results from the hashtag RemPC.
Yeah. So hashtag RemPC to enter to win the Shadowrun novels in PDF. There's 2 of them by Brian C.P. Steele, who we interviewed before this show. He's a writer for Shadowrun, among a lot of other properties. And the 2 novels are called Control Issues and Tourist Trapped. And so you can enter to win for free, hashtag RemPC. You can also go to remalternis.com/Nuyen to get extra entries for $5. And also have us read something at the end of the show. So, but we'll be back in 5 minutes for y'all.
Welcome to the 6th world, Shadowrun. Edge Zone. New visuals. Enhanced design. Choose your runner. Collect your Nuyen. Buy the latest cyberware, bioware, gear, magic options, and weaponry. Accept your mission. Fight to survive. Unleash your power. Slow down the competition. Come out on top. Edge Zone. The Shadowrun upgradable card game. Now you make the power plays.
What a spell! Spell. She says spell like 92 times. You gotta feel it.
Spell.
Ready to level up your cosplay game? Check out the Geek Forge on Etsy. With a variety of props to give your photos that extra spark, you'll find just what you need. Hold magical fire in the palm of your hand, or take a potion to restore your mana. With a large variety of colors, you can choose your own magical flavor for your cosplay. Bring drama to your photo shoots with these vibrant props and more, all available at the Geek Forge. Are you ready to level up your cosplay?
You're live.
Hey,
Welcome back.
we're back. Go ahead, Bob.
I think we have winners for tonight.
Yeah, we do. And our winner is Petricorian. Yay! Congratulations. Please watch your Twitch whispers, your Twitch chat, and we'll get your info so we can send you the novels. Congrats. Yay! What else do we have to do? There was no puns to read tonight, thankfully. But why don't we do our quick intros?
Not so fast.
Oh no, what just happened? What
A
happened?
lovely viewer has asked for Jen to read something.
And I will use my normal voice to get all pronunciations correct. Last week included International Talk Like a Pirate Day. Do you know why the pirate alphabet is so long? You'd think it was all the R, but it's actually the...
Did she break up for anyone?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Right
Works
at the
for me.
punchline.
A perfect delivery!
But it's actually...
You'd think it was all the R, but it's actually the 7 C's.
I had to hear it twice.
Yep.
I don't like that.
I liked it.
Well, thank you,
Do you want to do our round table?
Yeah, let's do that. So Jen, why don't we start with you?
Hi, I'm Jen. I am the owner of the Geek Forge, which has a really cool that y'all...
You're breaking up again, friend.
Well, that's annoying. I am Jen, and I am the owner of the Geek Forge, which is a really cool commercial that y'all have been seeing. We do fire props and other cosplay-related things, and we will be launching very soon a digital cosplay planner to help with your upcoming Halloween costumes. So come join us on Facebook and Instagram, and be on the lookout for that.
Awesome.
I'm
Amber?
assuming I go next. Yeah, I'm Amber. I got to model in Jen's little Geek Forge commercial. I'm holding a fire prop. Let's see, what else? What have I got going on? Not too much on my end. What does everyone plan on being for Halloween? That's a really good thing. I plan on being Russell from Up.
Oh my gosh, I love it! You win.
I've been working really hard start on it. I just need to go get a bunch of balloons.
Oh. I don't even know that we have planned for Halloween yet. I kind of just looked at the calendar and was like, oh, it is September. So I do not know.
Well, you've got some time, and maybe Jen, when does your cosplay calendar come out?
Next weekend, it should be ready to be released.
Cool.
Well, maybe you can get a cosplay planner and help you plan out your costume until Halloween comes.
I love it. Awesome. Jen, what are you going to be for Halloween?
I will probably be lame and not be anything for Halloween because I have to fly out Monday morning for day job things.
Yeah. Bob?
Yes. So I'm
are you doing Halloween?
I have no plans for Halloween so far.
Fair enough. Tell us about you, Bob.
So I'm Bob. In addition to GMing this game, I GM the Chicago Missions campaign on Tuesday nights over on Master of Rem. We're taking a couple of weeks off, but we're deep in the middle of season 7 of Chicago Missions.
Yeah. And I'm Rem. We launched the Shadowrun Kickstarter this week. We've got the Gelatinous Cube Soap Kickstarter. We're relaunching the Nocturne by Night Kickstarter in a couple of weeks, which is the villains supplement for Blood and Justice setting of Prowlers and Paragons. What else is happening? Gosh, I feel like I've done so much. We do audiobooks for Shadowrun. We are here on Gen Con TV. We stream 5 to 6 days a week. So we do a lot. Hang out with us in Discord and come play with us. We do streamathons once a year and fundraisers, and we just are a really great community. So come hang out with us. And gosh, anything else happening that I'm missing? Hey, Tom. Tom's great. Tom makes us all look good. He's the one that keeps pushing the beep boop buttons with the cool banners and making commercials happen. And he's also a GM.
And giving wonderful advice on how to GM.
Worst advice. But on Monday nights, he runs Paranormal Albany on the Master of Rem Twitch channel, which is the Dresden Files RPG. Well, powered by the Apocalypse, but in the Dresden Files universe. And
Cortex Plus, actually, to give credit where credit's due.
It's Cortex. I don't know where. Oh, it's because Streamathon I did powered by the Apocalypse. I don't know. It's late. I'm tired. On Wednesday, he also runs Shadowrun 6th edition Denver, which is a living campaign. So that's really cool. And yeah, so come hang out with us, guys. And thank you all for watching. Did I get everything? Okay.
I think so.
You got everything.
It's really close to bedtime, guys.
Yes. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Have a good one.
Good night. Sweet dreams.